Well, the answer is it depends. With single and two-phase immersion cooling, containment's not needed because these systems are closed-looped. Therefore, no cold or hot air is ever rejected into the surrounding space of the data center. However, with direct-to-chip cooling, also referred to as direct-on-chip or cold plate cooling, pipes are delivering liquid directly onto a cold plate that's sitting atop your CPU and GPU, and that's what's drawing off the heat. The extracted heat then is transferred to a chilled water loop and expelled into the outside atmosphere. Typically, up to 75% of the heat is transferred to a liquid loop, and that means the remainder of the heat has to be removed via traditional-based airflow cooling, such as cracks, craws, in-row cooling, fan walls. Now, since traditional air cooling is needed to remove this remaining heat that's generated by power supplies, memories, and other circuit boards, either cold aisle or hot aisle containment is going to be needed for these type of deployments. Not all IT equipment is at the high end of the heat scale, meaning we're still going to be using air cooling for most business cases. And we always say no one can predict the future. Therefore, good planning makes all the difference, and that's what's really going to set us up for long-term success. Liquid cooling is not 100% needed in many or most cases at this time or even into the foreseeable future. We have to be realistic. We're going to want to look at data center design and cooling more from a holistic approach as opposed to the current one-size-fits-all approach. The choice really depends on each data center facility. Experts in both air and liquid camps tend to agree that future data centers are going to need both high-density and regular density equipment. It's not going to be a one-size-fits-all solution. This really highlights the need for data center designers and managers to again take a real holistic approach to cooling their data centers. It will not and should not be an approach where we're considering just using air or just using liquid cooling moving forward. Instead, the key is to understand the trade-offs of each cooling technology. What makes the most sense for each individual business case? Should we expect to see future data centers cooled with both air and liquid? Yes. Data center designers and managers will need to design data centers, and they're going to have to separate both the high density and low density equipment. That's how we're really going to drive future efficiency, not just one type of cooling versus the other. In addition, understanding the TCO, the total cost of ownership of cooling the data center, is going to be essential. The decision to deploy either air cooling or liquid cooling always should be determined by TCO. That's what we're going to see more of in the future. Each facility is going to have to examine what they're doing now and what it is that they want to do in the future with regard to their data center. We can expect to see more and more hybrid cooling solutions consisting of both air and liquid cooling as needed. A combination of several cooling systems, that's going to be the future of cooling, not one size fits all. Air and liquid cooling together, that's what's going to give us future hybrid cooling solutions. And finally, with air and liquid cooling coexisting moving forward, both cold and hot aisle containment will continue to be a fundamental starting point when it comes to maximizing available cooling capacity and increasing our energy efficiency. A well-designed and implemented containment system is and will continue to be an essential element to support current and future high-density IT equipment.